Welcome, divers, to the first episode of tearing stuff apart that we found in a dumpster or scrapping. So I was going to call it What's Inside, but there's already like a channel about that, and they do a whole bunch of stuff, not just metal. So I can't really do that. So I think I might call it Inside the Finds, Dumpster Diving, or Curbsiding, whichever one we decide to do. But guys, today we're going to take apart this, get all the wires, all the good stuff. You know, we're just gonna see what we can find. Hopefully, you know, there's nothing in here, but we're gonna check it out, guys. So we're gonna get us a little bucket, get some tools, and drag this bad boy a little closer. Woo! So our goal is to get to those things and see exactly what they are, and I think we can do that if we start taking stuff off. Tools. By the way, guys, in case this is your first episode on the channel, my name is Apollo. I do dumpster diving and scrapping, and this is the first time I'm recording taking something apart to see what's inside. You guys asked for it, and I know it's probably going to mess up the algorithm a little bit. Don't judge me on my box. I know it's disorganized and kind of broken. I got to stop throwing metal on top of there. But yeah, this is it. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so we got a little bucket for screws and a little box for some wires. Alright, we basically got everything we could need. Let's see if it is actually an 8. It is. Alright, let's get to it. This is ready to come off, but we just got to snip a few more wires. And I don't know how your yard is. Mine, I don't think either one of mine likes the little plug ends. I know some yards really don't care. They might just give you like a separate price for them. But mine will actually give us some bad prices if we leave even just the smallest of ends on. Alright, so after taking this off, let's go find our magnet. These are the magnets we're going to be using today because I can't find my magnet stick. These could be stainless. They are not. Whoa, whoa. Let's see. No, they got a pull. We got a little bit of cast. Now, you can work to get this off, but chances are it's propane. Let's see if it even wants to budge. Okay, it's going to budge for us. So, we can definitely go ahead and get this off. Guys, don't judge me based on everything. I do clean up. I do it like once a week after I have enough stuff to turn in. Alright, so right here's plastic. So you can go ahead and take this off if you want, or you can just sell it as breakage. My yard gives me 23 cents a pound. So if it's heavy, so if it's heavy, I just put it with the breakage, which is like aluminum mixed with small debris, maybe like a little bit of plastic, metal. And then let's go ahead and get these wires off. Now these wires aren't nothing crazy. They're harness wire or low grade. Your yard may take them as number 2. Just depends on the yard. But a lot of bigger yards, you know, they have a low grade category of some kind. But everything counts, so let's put it in there. Let's snip these guys off. Now these thicker ones, you may be able to get number 2 from. But like I said, it all just depends. So you see the copper to wire ratio. These are going to go for harness without a doubt. Now I do see a copper line. Not sure if anything's in here. Let's see if we hear any hissing. We do not. Now this I'll work on separately because it is copper, a little bit of brass. So we'll do that separately. Let's work on getting the rest of the shell off so we can see what's inside. go ahead and get everyone on. If something falls on the inside, it's okay because it's all right there anyway. So don't worry about it too much. So, now that we got that off, we may have to do some cutting. You know, if that's the case, don't be afraid to just cut and get a little crazy with it. So go ahead and get the saw and just get to cutting. Let's see how it goes. Not too good. Not too good. Now there should always be a way to get everything off. Otherwise, how do they even put it together? So cutting the metal can kind of, you know, get you a shortcut. But if you want to know how to do it again, or if you want to just do it right, or if you want to just even take it apart to see if you can fix something, obviously not this thing, then you necessarily probably don't want to cut it. Alright, now all of this looks like it could possibly be non-ferrous, but let's check. It is not. Now I know you see shiny, but the rust on the edges was a giveaway. But just want to show you guys, if it looks like it, just check it. I mean, there could be surface rust. You never know unless you check. Now this is what we wanted to get to. Because as you can see, it's not sticking. So let's get something to kind of pry it open or cut it open. And as you can see, all that pink, that is copper. So we definitely want all of that. So it's going to be a little bit difficult from here on out, but that's okay. See what we can do to kind of help speed up the process. We can take these off. And maybe that will do something, but in this case it didn't. So from what I see is, this is what we want to do. We want to go ahead and get the rest of this off. Now since we have that off, take this off, remove that. Then if we flip it again, it looks like it should come right up as long as we got everything else in order. So let's go ahead and just snip these. And this is a copper line, so let's go ahead and snip that. There shouldn't be nothing in here, but always just be cautious. Cautious. Am I saying that right? Do I have a lisp? I actually do have somewhat of a speech impediment and lisp. Alright, so nothing came out, that's good. And this is a good copper line, so we'll put this in the bucket. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna put everything in the truck, and hopefully you guys can see how I do that. Just answer all of your questions at one time. How do I pack it? How do I take it apart? Alright, so it looks like we should be able to flip it over and just pull the shell up. Yes, my guess is it's going to be because the way this is. So if I see that we don't have to cut, I'm probably not going to, even if it's a little bit quicker, just because the noise, save battery, stuff like that. A lot of the times I kind of forget to charge the battery, so if I can save it and have it for when I need it, why not? All right, now guys, this right here, this is some, not all of this is copper, it's just going to be these, but this is some solid stuff. Let's see if we can even get it off. Let's get our aluminum rim, set this up, and find the right corresponding size. We have 2. Looks like it's going to work for about all of them, which is pretty good, all things considered. Now that's a piece of brass. Want to put that in there. So it does have some sort of fluid on the inside. I'm not an expert on these, so I don't know what it could be. And is it gonna come off? That is the question. So if you're ever in a situation where you don't know if it's gonna come off, grab a hammer and see if you can make it. Grab a bigger hammer. I can't tell if it's working. Oh, it kind of looks like it kind of is. It could very well just be these studs right here. I probably should have knocked them out first. And we can wiggle this off. And boom. So we got that off, and we know by the rest of it that that is steel. But just to show you guys, and sorry if my angles are going to be weird. I have this angle set for like the same angle when I'm dumpster diving and scrapping. So I'm not too sure. Alright, so that came off. And we can get a better look at these. These don't stick, so I was worried that the pipe itself may not be copper, but it looks like it is. Looks like we're still going to have some trouble because we got some O-rings, it seems. But that shouldn't be stopping us. That shouldn't be stopping us that much. So let's see if we can just cut a little bit. And if we miss a little copper, that's fine for me anyway. Like I said, I don't normally have time to like record this or time to do this more than like once a week, if that. So if you guys got the time to keep trying, that's perfectly fine. If you guys don't, that's fine too. Oh, some pretty tough stuff, as you can see. I'm not sure how they even got it in here, to be honest. See, this isn't really cutting it. No pun intended. Yeah, so I've been whacking at this thing for a good minute. I think I might just have to, I know it's sad to hear this, but I don't have a Sawzall. I think I gotta go buy one. You know, this is a few pounds of copper. It may pay for part of it, and I'm gonna need it in the future, so I might as well get a few metal blades and a good Sawzall. Well, lo and behold, guys, if you thought that was the end, you're mistaken. Before we end the first episode, I can figure out how to use this thing. There we go. Realize I do have a Sawzall. And we're gonna see if we can use it to cut this bad boy open. get these off now. There we go. We left a little bit in there, but it's not too bad. Yeah, that has some weight to it. That is easily a pound, maybe a pound and a half by itself. So we'll do the same thing with this one. So we'll just get up on it. It's pretty solid stuff. I was thinking power might beat precision, but not in this case. We got a little piece. We'll probably get most of this off if we can. And let's go back to cutting. Some pretty thick. Let me do a guesstimate. Oh, I want to say this is at least 10 pounds, all going to the copper box. All right, now that we got that taken apart, let's get all of our stuff that we were working with and put it where it belongs. All right, for this, we're probably going to turn in this rim. Why not? Most of the time you can just pull it out and yank it out, but it does have a little butt right there. So if you can get most of that off, you can do it with some regular wire cutters. And just go ahead and clip and clip. The last part is always the hardest towards the well of the rim. And then once you get most of it off, boom, comes right out. Now and we would have a completely clean rim, but don't forget you have a wheel weight. Most of the time it's very simple. You don't really need much force because these aren't put on with a lot of force, but just slap something in there and just pry. Now be careful. These are lead. I know some people say touching a little bit of lead won't do any harm, but you never know. Someone could be more susceptible than others. Just better to be safe. All right, now that we got all that, what we're going to do is we're going to put this down. What I like to do personally is make sure I have a strap out. Now you can set them right here on the side. That. We are going to put something right here, so let's go ahead and get that something. And that something would be bed rails. Who guessed it? What I like to do if I have something like this is find a spot you could set it in. We'll go ahead and keep this on. Don't let me fool you. I definitely was about to take it off, but I decided to keep it on. And we'll take these bed rails, put them right here. That way they can stay like nice and tight right there. All right, so we're definitely going to turn this in because we don't really need it anymore. And then throw some stuff on the inside. I think that might be brass. Let's check it out. Yes, looks like that's aluminum. And that's brass, but it's going to be dirty brass. I could take that off, but I'd rather just take this unit and throw it with the dirty brass. Now, this has a lot of steel, so normally they just want to take this as dirty brass. But if you have a whole bunch of other stuff where it's mostly brass, they probably won't say anything. Now, this came from the chair that we got from one of the last videos. We'll take that and just throw it right there. We got this big microwave. All right, so now we know this is steel. All of that is steel. Nothing good out of here, so we'll put that right in there as best as we can get. It's pretty heavy. I could take this as heavy melting where, ooh, what was that? Where I can get 9 cents per pound, because steel is $6.25, heavy melting is 9 cents. But that requires smashing this out, trying to smash the tie rod out. And if you guys work on cars, you know that these are a pain, and the bigger they are, the bigger the pain. So we're gonna sell it as steel. We'll just slap that right there. And then all these little miscellaneous pieces will go there as well. Now, all this little stuff, I do like to make sure it's not going to blow out. So that is one thing to keep in mind. When you're scrapping and you have a truck full of scrap, you want to put things to where you know they're not going to fall out and cause other people harm. Why? Because it's just the right thing to do. And if you had to ask that question, you may need therapy. So this, I did not realize how much plastic is on here. They might say something. So we will just keep this right here for now. And go ahead and grab this garbage disposal. Which, guys, I don't know if you did know this, but yes, these have metal in them. And grab the little odds and ends. Ends. Now we do have quite a bit of rotors. We have more in there, but we're not going to take those yet. What I do want to see is if this is brass or aluminum. After cutting it, we can clearly see that that is brass. But how do we get it out? Because these things are rusted. Well, you can, I know it seems really weird, but sometimes I do take dikes and I can just get them like that without having to get another tool. But in this case, we might have to grab another tool. Let's see if we can find a long nut size. It might be a 12. It's a 12 will do. A 12 will do. And we can throw that right back there. Now this, let's see. To this, I mean, for this, we can basically kind of just cut it off. And then we have a faucet. Now these faucets we can sell as is for 80 cents a pound, or we can get brass for like $1.80. If we leave it a little bit dirty with a little bit of steel, it's like $1.20 per pound. So not like super bad. And then we'll put this guy over here. This is a little something of stuff that I got to work on that is copper and brass related. All right, well, for the non-ferrous, stuff. We'll take this one aluminum rim. My yard is 80 cents a pound for aluminum rims, clean aluminum rims. I think that's pretty good. I kind of want to clear this out, but I don't want to like take this and be stuck with it all day. So let me think. To take or not to take? We won't take that just yet. Well, actually, guys, I thought I was going to take more non-ferrous, but I don't think I am, because a lot of it's going to have to be standing up in the back. Anyway, guys. Uh-oh, I'm missing it. Anyway, guys, thank you for suffering through the first episode of Inside the Finds Dumpster Diving Edition with Apollo Dives. That is me. This was pretty sloppy. It was kind of fun, though. Just easing along through, chilling with you guys while I did this. I'm not sure if this is going to be like a 5-minute video after I edit it or not, but just know that it was fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for suffering through, and we should be back on the road tomorrow after I take all this to the scrapyard, so we'll get more scrap. Anyway, guys, stay safe and have some fun. I'll catch you on the next one.